Hello learners, welcome to the second video tutorial of the worksheet that belongs to the first week of the third term. Without wasting time, let's head for this process. Okay, here we have the worksheet. Third term English, remember you are the UK guys, the Britons, los chicos del Reino Unido, los británicos. In the previous video, we were working with random words. You remember this part? Um, we practiced a little bit. We had a little rehearsal, how to pronounce those words and how to spell the words. Remember, when we have hyphenated words, hyphen include the space, the apostrophe. Sorry, we're gonna see it in another video. Okay. Now I'm gonna concentrate on the next part. And that next part is called 10th and 11th activities of the term. And we have certain goals que vamos a lograr. Esas metas de comprensión que vamos a lograr. The first one, can deliver very short rehearsed announcement of predictable learn content which are intelligible to listeners who are prepared to concentrate. Y, o sea que puede hacer unos anuncios ensayados que pueden ser predecibles con un contenido que se pueda aprender para que sean escuchados de forma inteligible. Y estos oyentes están preparados para concentrarse de acuerdo a los anuncios. So in this part, we're going to be rehearsing a little bit the verbal practice. So this first worksheet is going to focus you on the mastery of conversation. But how are you going to master it? You're going to give us opinions. First, a written opinion, and we're going to be working on preparing it, refining it, and we need certain expression and introductory statements to extend our ideas, our opinions. Okay, so let's see the topics. Lexical. So, a very important topic these days: environment, climate, oceans, seas, marine resources, ecosystem, water, energy, and sanitation. These are the most important contents of the work, and I dare to say that this will be the most important topics for the whole education and from now on. Estos van a ser los temas más importantes que van a abarcar o va a abarcar mejor la educación. No podemos entender una verdadera educación sin este tipo de temas, ¿sí? El medio ambiente, el clima, los océanos, los recursos marinos, ecosistemas, todo esto entretejido tan delicado que hace parte de nuestra supervivencia. Okay, so with these important topics, we are going to concatenate them with the expressions of opinion. To express opinions, like we do it in Spanish, we say, bueno, en mi opinión, yo pienso que, yo creo que, considero. Si me permiten agregar algo, si me permiten decirlo, pues yo estoy de acuerdo con que. So we have those expressions in English too. For example, look at this. If you ask me, that's one better. Si usted me pregunta, esta es una buena posibilidad, esta es la mejor, etc. So, if we continue reading the exercise, we will find read, be conscious, and understand your opinion. So it's not only reading, it's not only concentrating on the interpretation of the text. I'm going to help you with some important web apps that will guide you and give you clear understanding of words, how to interpret long text. En este camino que estamos iniciando el tercer periodo, vamos a ir degradando el nivel del español, es decir, que vamos a empezar a escuchar cada vez menos el español. A medida que yo voy cargando los videotutoriales, el español va a tender a disminuirse, a desaparecer. So I want to invite you to be conscious of this part because you're going to listen most of the time in English, and I need you to practice. The questions for practice are going to be short, but you need to practice at home, probably with your parents, and sometimes on your own. Algunas veces ustedes solos. All right. So I'm gonna guide you through the first paragraph of this text, And okay, it says marine species affected by climate change include plankton. Las especies marinas afectadas por el cambio climático incluyen el plancton. Vamos a ver qué tan importante es este animalito dentro del frágil tejido del ecosistema. Which forms the basis of marine food chains, corals, fish, polar bears, walruses, seals, sea lions, penguins, and seabirds. So try to remember those former years of our English that belong to the nouns, a los sustantivos. And those nouns we have animals, plants, etc. This is a very good exercise to connect those topics. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Changes predicts, o sea que el plan intergubernamental sobre el cambio climático predice un levantamiento posterior que estará entre el 1.5 grados y 5.8 grados centígrados al final de este año. So look at this part. Climate change could therefore will be knock out bunch of many species. So the species are going to suffer from this devastating part. When you find, for example, punch, I don't remember so clearly here what does it mean. No recuerdo exactamente qué quiere decir punch en este contexto de la temática de la actividad marina. So let's look for word reference. So we have punch. I want to recommend you this website because it's really important. It's the worldwide used. It has millions of users. Esta aplicación web tiene millones de seguidores en el mundo y nos da una clara idea de lo que significa. I made a mistake here. So English Spanish. Punch. Puñetazo, golpe. Bueno, significa lo que normalmente es la palabra, o sea que no hay una relación exacta con el contexto marino. Pues podríamos decir que nos quiere decir que será el golpe final, ¿sí? El knockout para muchas de las especies, las cuales están las cuales ya están en sobreestrés de la pesca excesiva y la pérdida del hábitat. So in this preliminary, sorry, I made a mistake here. Aquí cometí un error. Control Z. Ok. En esta parte preliminar podemos ver el enfoque a donde nos dirigimos y algunos de los animales que nos van a ayudar a complementar nuestras ideas cuando vayamos bajando los párrafos y lleguemos a los puntos donde yo les preciso una serie de preguntas para explorar qué piensan ustedes. Previously, I highlighted this paragraph as oceans, mientras los océanos se calientan, the location of the ideal water temperature may shift from many species, puede cambiar. A study has shown, ha demostrado, that fish in the North Sea have moved further north or into deeper water in response to rising temperatures. Cómo se están alejando los animales, ¿no? De la superficie. All right. So you will have more time to explore this. Use word reference. You can also use the Google Translate. But I want to tell you one thing. This app is really, really good, but your mind always stays in trying to interpret many things, and the idea is not interpret word by word. It's having a general idea. Oh, what has been happening? I'll translate google.com. So you click Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So let me give you an example. So you're gonna Ctrl C this fragment, Ctrl V, and there we have the translation. The translation helps us to get a little part of the reading, but the point is that you're gonna focus on only the translation, and you are not going to produce language. I mean, English. You have to practice. You have to speak. If you don't speak, so otherwise you won't learn. Esta parte diríamos que nos ayuda como un complemento a que entendamos algunas generalidades de la lectura, pero si nos enfocamos únicamente en explorar la traducción y no practicamos, eso va a ser adverso a que podamos tener un dominio de la lengua. So finally, at the end, we have started the questions. So I plan some questions for um, getting your ideas. According to Lax fragment, use the following introductory statements to answer. In my opinion, in my way of thinking, a mi modo de pensar. So if you say a su modo de pensar, what could be the most dangerous for seas and or oceans? What could be most dangerous for seas and or oceans? ¿Qué podría ser lo más peligroso para los mares y los océanos? O ambos. How will I start? ¿Cómo yo comenzaría a hacer esto? Okay, I'm going to delete. I go back. And I type right, in my opinion. Um, the most dangerous aspect or issue is better. Me gusta mucho esta palabra, dificultad, problema. For seas is the gradual warmth or the gradual rise of sea temperatures. Of the sea temperature. I highlight this part. En mi opinión, el problema más peligroso para los mares es el aumento gradual de la temperatura del mar. Because in this case, you are justifying your answer. That is really important. Because as the text mentioned, como lo mencionó el texto, en este caso yo estoy conectando las ideas previas, lo que me estaba otorgando el autor de este texto para encadenar mi respuesta, porque no puedo quedarme solamente con mi punto de vista, ya que el que realizó este fragmento, que corresponde a un ensayo mucho más grande, pues es un experto en estas temáticas. Because as the text mentioned, the sea creatures, another way of saying sea animals, can be affected. And in consequence, we could face a fatal destiny. Because as the text mentioned, the sea creatures can be affected, and in consequence, look, comma, because we are using connectives. En consecuencia, we could face a fatal destiny. Podemos enfrentar un destino fatal. Esa sería la consecuencia. Look at the way that I organize my idea. First, I started with the preliminary statement. Una oración preliminar, una frase preliminar. En mi opinión, the most dangerous issue for the sea is the gradual rise. I use this part because I read it before in the first paragraph. It says, marine species affected by climate change include plankton, which forms the basis of marine food change, corals, fish, polar bears, blah, 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 blah. Praise a further rise of between 1.4 centigrades and 5.8 centigrades. So here is the rise. Look, the rise in temperature. So I did not type right exactly for the rise of between 1.5 centigrades. No quiero que me escriban al pie de la letra o copy y pegue. Trate de resumir esto en palabras globales. So I use the word temperature, Control N. Aquí, como ustedes se pudieron dar cuenta, utilicé la palabra temperatura, que podría globalizar esa precisión que nos hacen de los grados centígrados. So this is the whole answer. To complement the next part, excuse me, reading time, the ocean cleanup, to complement all of this, I'm gonna leave you with this video that is extremely important. What happened? Okay, I'm gonna move the camera one side.
The Pacific Ocean has become the world's biggest landfill. Every year, approximately 14 billion pounds of trash are dumped in. Plastic constitutes
Millions of trash de basura, desperdicios, are dumped. ¿Sí? Son arrojados.
all trash floating in the world's oceans. This is trash.
So remember those words. Those words are really important to learn. For example, trash, esa palabra basura, desperdicios, trash, right?
That could have been recycled. The main problem with plastic, besides there being so much of it, is that it doesn't biodegrade.
The plastic, the plastic, I'm gonna rewind it, voy a regresar un momento el
Instead,
video.
plastic
Oops,
degrade
one mistake here. Second mistake.
is that it doesn't biodegrade.
The plastic doesn't biodegrade. El plástico no se biodegrada.
Instead, plastic photodegrades into millions of tiny pieces floating forever in our seas, or ingested by marine life mistaking these plastic toxins as food. Plastic
Who's taking this plastic flotsam as food plastic? Flotsam. Where's flotsam? I don't know. What is it? Restos del naufragio, desechos, desperdicios. I didn't know it.
waste
Um,
thus threatens the food chain and ultimately
this part of the video will help us with guiding ideas, with words that can complement what we want to express when we type right. So first, you're going to type right, and on the next worksheet, worksheet number 2, you will have to interact verbally. We will have a YouTube live session um, in the upcoming weeks. Vamos a tener una sesión en vivo desde YouTube. O sea que va a haber un cronograma, alístese para un horario y ahí vamos a intercambiar nuestras ideas. That is why I leave you these important videos that will guide you through the process to complement what we think, our ideas. I'm gonna fast forward it to minute one, 3.
wrapping our oceans in a layer of plastic. Oceans in a layer of plastic.
I made a mistake.
6 to 1. We are literally
So look, another time we watch the word plankton with K. In Spanish is with C, and English is with K. So we are memorizing words. We have this technique of repeating words and repeating, trying to separate uh, verbs, nouns, and adjectives to complement ideas. So I'm gonna give you this YouTube video for you to have more ideas when you are answering the questions of the text. That will help you to improve your vocabulary. Remember, we'll have a verbal practice session uh, on YouTube Live next week.
our oceans in a layer of plastic that not only threatens marine life, but mankind is
Not only threatens marine life, but mankind. No solamente amenaza a la vida marina, sino a la humanidad. And that corresponds to what I think here. In consequence, we could face a fatal destiny. En consecuencia, podríamos enfrentar un destino fatal. What are your ideas? Continue. Go down, read, use the alternatives. Word reference is a good alternative. Try to use Google Translate and answer this question. Well, write your ideas because before practicing the verbal part, we need to write some ideas. Uh, that is all for today. I hope that could be helpful and see you with other video tutorials next week. Thank you very much.